your ruler.
Zod.
Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given in tribute to me.
What's up, guys? So we're going to check out this video of why the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot failed so badly. Actually, right now I'm rewatching the original 87 Ninja Turtles cartoon. I'm starting with the 1987 Teenage Mutant. I use it to go to bed, basically. So at night when I'm going to sleep, I'll throw on 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then when I run out of 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'll move on to the 2003 one and then to the Nickelodeon one. Anyways, so I've always been a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I grew up with them. I definitely prefer, as like the live action movies still hold up. The 1990, 1991, mid-90s trilogy. That trilogy holds up. I know the third one was kind of crappy, but that trilogy holds up. As far as live action Ninja Turtles, they're still really good. All we have to compare it to is the garbage reboot that we're about to cover. But anyways, they really butchered how the turtles look in this reboot. They absolutely butchered it. But anyways, let's jump into it, and then we'll stop and go from there. All right, here we go. Bam.
What are you?
We're ninjas.
What are you?
Mutants.
Well, technically we're turtles.
Oh, and we're teenagers.
Dude, look at how look at how he's holding her by the neck right there. It's like that's like the start of a porn parody. Megan Fox is being held by the neck by the Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has been a long-running franchise for close to 40 years. The wild success of the Turtles from almost every era comes from the uniquely quirky perspective that the characters and creators bring to it. From the original Eastman and Laird mini-comics, to the surprisingly dark first feature film, to the wonderful reinterpretations that have followed. After the Michael Bay-produced Turtles were a box office success, the newly reborn franchise looked poised to reach even greater heights with its 2016 follow-up, TMNT, Out of the Shadows.
They butchered their look.
The reputation of the first film ultimately proved to be the undoing of its sequel.
We may be brothers, but we are not a team.
Before we get too deep into this episode, be sure to subscribe to Nerdstalgic in order to stay up to date with everything we have going on. Cast your mind back to the year of 2014. Paramount's Transformers franchise was ruling the box office, so the powers that be wanted more. How did they plan to accomplish this? Build out a cinematic universe of interconnected Transformers franchises? Well, yes, only that experiment didn't exactly work so well. So they pivoted to Plan B, or Plan T. They decided to have Michael Bay produce another franchise of films based on an iconic 80s toy
I bet you if they wouldn't have butchered their
snouts
snouts and would have made them more traditional,
directed by Wrath of the Titans and Battle Los Angeles Helmer Jonathan Liebsman.
those movies would have been more well received.
Despite being heavily recut in post to fix problems that the fan community were justifiably up in arms about, the film was released to mixed reviews and a sizable $493.3 million theatrical opening. And here's where things get weird. A sequel was put into production almost immediately, which is basically what happened to the original New Line Cinema franchise. And with this new installment, a new director, new writers, and new creative direction was selected. One that would lean into the more comic booky and animation-based elements of the franchise that many had complained had not been present in the franchise reboot's fledgling outing.
That's harsh, man.
Even though the first film was successful, the behind-the-scenes turmoil, post-production reshoots, and general lack of earnestness in its execution had resulted in a lackluster critical reception. The original plan for the film was that William Fichtner's bootleg Lex Luthor was going to be the Shredder, and that the Turtles' origin was going to be altered so that they were partly alien in creation. However, the idea of a
That's a
non-Japanese
terrible
man playing
idea.
Shredder didn't sit well with the sizable Turtles fandom, and so, after the majority of the film had been shot, it was reconfigured to include an actual Shredder.
All these years, I've been trying to recreate the mutant, and you just handed it to me.
With this creatively compromised and slightly jumbled explanation for the Turtles' existence, the studio wanted to move quickly and create a crowd-pleasing family film. So as the film originally titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Half-Shell Enter Development, it was serving two masters. Realign the creative vision of the franchise to attempt to pull in more children and families, and attempt to overcome the growing resentment
Even
from the
those
critical
costumes
and fan
are better
communities
than
while
the
incorporating
movie
more of the comic book accurate
aesthetic.
continuity into the film. This sounds like a high task even for an auteur director to handle. However, the person selected to direct the follow-up would be Dave Green, a filmmaker with only the children's feature Earth to Echo under his belt.
Do you have a name? Echo. What? That's what we should call it. Echo.
Paramount purposefully selected Green with the goal of being able to get him to make the film they wanted made. Needless to say, things did not go well for him or the film. Early on in the film's development life, it was leaked that the project would feature fan favorites Bebop and Rocksteady, as well as Krang, one of the most iconic and beloved Turtles villains. This was met with positive buzz. The fans were excited. This served as a signal to them that the ship was being righted. Out of the Shadows follows the Turtles as they team up with a new version of Casey Jones, this time played by Arrow's Stephen Amell, as they attempt to
Oliver
stop an
Queen.
unholy alliance of Shredder and Krang from taking over the world. However, the weirdly convoluted plot and inclusion of longtime favorite characters that feel more like soulless checking of boxes leaves a lot to be desired.
We were a team.
It was really bad.
Teams are for the
It could have. They were
Reports
so
that
close.
Green wasn't allowed to direct the
Yet
action
so
on the
far
film,
away.
was kept away from pre-production meetings, and stories of cast members being mistreated by the disorganized production started to circulate as filming ramped up. To put it simply, the finished product is a jumbled mess. Out of the Shadows only grossed a total haul of $245 million worldwide. It seems very apparent why people didn't show up for the second film. The Turtles' design looks ugly. The visuals are pedestrian, and the directors selected could never match what the previous incarnations of the Turtles had accomplished. Is it a better Turtles movie than the first Bay-produced Slogfest? Yes, but only minimally so. And it's still a chore of weirdly abrasive wall-to-wall CGI and stiff performances where everyone seems unhappy.
We're four brothers from New York who hate bullies and love this city.
And right now, we're the city's best hope.
Paramount wanted the Turtles to be their junior Transformers franchise, and that's why the original film faltered even before being released. The Turtles are their own thing. Paramount didn't go into it being like, what's the best way we can tell a good Turtle story? They approached it from the perspective of, how can we replicate our success from Transformers with this IP? Turtles has always been about making offbeat stories and the importance of family and the acceptance of people and creatures that are different than us. Well, that and pizza. You know what it's not about?
Giant rat 1, new guys 0.
Well, yeah, annoyingly out-of-character quips, but also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have lasted for close to 40 years because they come from the genuine love and enthusiasm of legions of fans and professionals. The Turtles have always thrived when the creators respect the source material and are passionate about the very surreal and strange blend of goofy antics and gritty martial arts action. They've never been forced to cram themselves into a corporately mandated hidey hole, which is exactly what Bay and Paramount were trying to do. The Transformers movies aren't good, but they also know exactly what they are. They're fun, mindless sci-fi action films when they're working.
Looking good, bro. Whoa. Thanks, man.
There's currently a new reboot of the Turtles franchise in the works to be shepherded by Seth Rogen's production company.
Oh boy.
It would seem like there's a fairly straightforward mission statement to stay true to, but only time will tell what fate has in store for the Turtles. Will it have an actual emphasis on characters?
I really don't like
Will
Seth
it not
Rogen
try to
anymore.
change their origin to be from outer space, or whatever the original cut of the 2014 movie was trying to do? Who knows? All we can say is that if it approaches it with the purview of making a good Turtles movie first and foremost, there's legions of people out there who are hungry to support it. What do you think? Which is the worst TMNT?
Even the there's a spin-off series called there's a spin-off series called what is it called? Ninja Turtles: The Next Generation, right? So after the original '87 series was the movies, the first movie, the second movie, the third movie, and then when the original '87 series ended at the end of the '90s, there was like a 3 or 4 year span where there was no Ninja Turtles on TV, and then the early 2000s they came out with a live action show called Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and even then, and it was made by Saban, and the costumes were really janky, like Power Rangers style monsters, but even those Ninja Turtle costumes were better than the aesthetic that they went for those Michael Bay movies. Those Michael Bay movies were terrible. And the thing that really sucks about it is the second one had the potential to be great. But you can't be great when you're basing it on something that's already terrible. Right? The aesthetic of the Turtles was already terrible. You couldn't then somehow make the second movie be good. But had they not butchered it in the first place, having all those elements in place could have been awesome. In a different universe, having all those elements could have been awesome. Having the Turtles that don't look stupid, Bebop and Rocksteady, Krang, Shredder, could have been awesome. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and all that, and please follow me on Twitch right there. That's my Twitch. And there's going to be another video popping up right here if you like listening to me rant and ramble as I do right there, and it'll be best suited for your tastes. Alright, peace out, guys.